Okay, hello there. This is going to be my very swift sub 5 minute guide to the question on why the Weimar Republic faced so many problems between the years 1919 and 1923. So let's get straight in. So, inevitably, the first thing you're going to have to discuss is the problems the government faced in its structure. Okay, so if you could write a paragraph where you discuss all of the problems the government faced in terms of structure, such as the proportional representation system, which was a huge problem because although it looks great and it gives everyone a vote, all it actually does is create this system in the Reichstag where there are 37 different parties, and we know that they struggle to agree on anything. And in times of crisis, it really will paralyse the government. You can also discuss within this idea of democracy is new, that the Germans have been used to a constitutional monarchy. Okay, since its inception in 1871, it's always had a Kaiser. Now the Kaiser is gone. It's been replaced by something different, and the Germans don't like it. It isn't something traditional to them, and many people resent it because of that. The third reason, of course, is Article 48, this system whereby the president could rule by decree at any point he considers to be an emergency. And that really means it undermines the whole system. So that's our starting point here. And any good point on that would be rewarded heavily by the examiners. So within that, we're talking about why these challenges happen. So you'll get nothing if you just discuss the Spartacists and the Cat Putsch. But what you will do is if you can discuss that they are problems and why they are both rebelling linked to what we've just said, that is going to get you the marks. So for the Spartacists, they are rebelling to overthrow this system. Now, they haven't got a huge problem with the system, except the fact that they want the system that's just been implanted in 1917 in the Soviet Union. And they see Ebert and democracy as just one failed government replacing the last one. Cap, on the other hand, he fits into more what we were just talking about. He and the Freikorps probably ultimately wanted to bring the monarchy back. They believe that Germany needs a big, strong leader, this militaristic presence that it always had. So don't go too far into explaining what the Cat Putsch was, but please do explain why both of these groups have chosen to rebel. What else do we have? This one should be an easy one. The Treaty of Versailles. Unfortunately for Ebert and his government, one of the first things that they're forced to do is to actually sign the Versailles Peace Treaty in 1919. And all this really does is associate the Weimar government with the Treaty of Versailles. So in this sort of point, we would be discussing some of the real grievances the Germans have with this clause 231 that basically gave the entirety of the blame of the First World War to the Germans. The loss of some key territories, including East Prussia, being separated from the rest of Germany, and this creation of this Polish corridor in Danzig, and overall Germany losing 13% of its land. You could discuss the reduction of the armed forces to 100,000. You'd certainly want to discuss these crippling reparations money. The French and Georges Clemenceau really wanted to bleed Germany dry. And how Germany, right from here, kind of resents the Allies, and even petty things like taking their coal and not allowing them into the League of Nations. So being sure to link each of those things back to them being blamed on the Weimar government is the key one there. Don't find yourself just describing the treaty in too much detail. And finally, other problems, of course, it faces are in 1923, the year of crisis. You've got the invasion of the Ruhr, where Germany were unable to meet their crippling payments from the Treaty of Versailles, the 6.6 billion. They default on their payments, and in come a French army to occupy Germany's industrial region, the Ruhr. You can, of course, trace this back to the Treaty of Versailles if you want to. But obviously, don't make the same point twice. You'll then discuss hyperinflation, not what it is, but the problem it sort of poses for Germany, and again, link it back. That the reason Germany is facing hyperinflation is because of the invasion of the Ruhr and the Weimar government's rather sort of naive decision to still pay their workers even though they were on strike. That was never going to work. It shows an ineptitude of government. It's just plain daft, really. So the important thing for this is to recognise what the problems are. Okay, there's two rebellions actually, plus the Munich Putsch. There's the Ruhr crisis and hyperinflation, and there's the Treaty of Versailles. And you must not describe them, but explain why we have them. Okay, wish you the best luck at that question. I hope it goes well for you.